Welcome to G Fun Facts Online, where we dive deep into the wonders of science. Today, we're soaring back in time, about 150 million years, to meet a true icon of evolution, Archaeopteryx. For over 160 years, this creature has been celebrated, often called the first bird. Its discovery, hot on the heels of Darwin's On the Origin of Species, was a game-changer, showing a stunning mix of reptile and bird features. Talk about compelling evidence for evolution. But the story of Archaeopteryx is far from a closed book. New technologies and fresh fossil finds are constantly making us rethink what we know about this pivotal creature and its role in the tangled story of early bird evolution. So was Archaeopteryx really the first bird? Well, that's a hot topic. Historically, it was pretty much the undisputed champ, sitting at the very base of the bird family tree, or avian. But then, amazing fossils started turning up, especially from China, feathered dinosaurs and early bird-like creatures that threw a fascinating wrench in the works. Remember Xiaotingia? Its discovery in 2011 led some scientists to suggest Archaeopteryx might actually be a Deinonychosaur. Think bird-like predatory dinosaurs, not quite a true bird. While many analyses since then have put Archaeopteryx back in its traditional spot, the whole debate really shines a light on just how fuzzy the boundary is between early birds and their dinosaur relatives. Fossils like Orornis xui helped reinforce Archaeopteryx bird credentials. But then you have discoveries like Baminornis gengensis from China, dating back even earlier, maybe 164 to 172 million years ago. This suggests bird diversification might have started way sooner than we thought, and some studies even pop Archaeopteryx back into a dinosaur group. It's a dynamic field. Now, let's look at Archaeopteryx itself. It's a classic transitional fossil, a beautiful mosaic of old and new. Its fossils clearly show well-developed feathers. And not just any feathers, asymmetrical flight feathers on its wings, just like modern flying birds, hinting at aerodynamic abilities. The 14th and most complete Archaeopteryx fossil, the Chicago specimen, has given us incredible new details. It revealed, for the first time, tertial feathers on Archaeopteryx, those feathers that attach to the upper and lower arm bones, bridging the gap to the body. This creates a continuous wing surface, crucial for flight, and it's something we haven't seen in non-avian feathered dinosaurs. What about color? Studies on melanosomes suggest some feathers, like one famous isolated feather, were likely black, which might have even offered some mechanical strength. And the tiny structures of these feathers, the barbules, are identical to modern birds. This advanced design was already around in the Jurassic. We've even studied feathers on its legs, which could have played a role in flight or display. Skeletally, Archaeopteryx had a wishbone, a bird-like pelvis, and those feathered wings. But it also held onto its reptilian heritage with features like teeth, a flat breastbone, no big keel like modern birds, belly ribs called gastralia, three-fingered claws on its hands, and a long, bony tail. The Chicago specimen, again, is a star with its almost perfectly preserved 3D skeleton. It's shown us that its palate was intermediate between troodonted dinosaurs and later birds, a step towards the flexible skulls of modern birds. And it had 24 tail vertebrae, one more than we previously thought. Some research even identified a new species, Archaeopteryx albursdorferi, from one specimen, suggesting it was even better adapted for flight, with fused skull bones and reinforced hand bones. Though, in another twist, the Harlem specimen was reclassified as a different genus, Ostromia, more akin to Chinese anchiornithids. Science is always updating. What about its brain and senses? CT scans of Archaeopteryx brain cases tell us its brain was way bigger than most dinosaurs and organized much like a modern bird's, albeit more primitively. Areas for vision, hearing, balance, and coordination were well developed. All the neurological gear you'd expect for flight. Its inner ear was more bird-like than reptilian. However, newer research suggests that while its brain was complex, its overall brain volume was pretty standard among a larger group of dinosaurs called Maniraptora. This implies the brain power for flight might have been a common trait in that wider group, with features like smaller smell centers and a larger cerebellum evolving later, closer to the lineage of living birds. So, could it fly? And how well? That's the million-dollar question. Those asymmetrical flight feathers and the newly found tertial feathers scream aerodynamic potential. But Archaeopteryx lacked that large, keeled sternum modern birds use to anchor their powerful flight muscles. This has led many to think its flight was weaker, maybe more gliding or short flapping bursts. The Chicago specimen also threw in some fascinating clues. It had soft tissue impressions of toe pads, like ground foraging birds, suggesting it spent a good chunk of time on the ground. And its hands had mobile fingers, possibly for climbing. So we're looking at a versatile creature, maybe a ground dweller, a climber, and a flyer of some sort. Some even propose it nested on the ground in colonies, with wings first evolving for nest protection before being co-opted for flight. How did Archaeopteryx grow up? Bone studies show it grew relatively slowly, more like a non-avian dinosaur than a modern bird. Its bones were made of slow-growing tissue, and it might have taken almost 3 years to reach adult size. Growth lines show it grew in spurts over several years. So the super-fast growth of modern birds? That came later in avian evolution. It wasn't needed for early flight. All known Archaeopteryx specimens come from one magical place, the Solnhofen limestone deposits in Bavaria, Germany, from the late Jurassic, around 150 million years ago. Back then, this area was an archipelago of islands with calm, super salty lagoons. Not much could live in that water, and the oxygen-poor bottom meant no scavengers, leading to incredible fossil preservation. We're talking not just Archaeopteryx, but marine reptiles, pterosaurs, small dinosaurs, insects, plants, a whole Jurassic ecosystem preserved in stunning detail. So where does Archaeopteryx fit in the grand scheme of things? It's a key member of Paraves, a group of theropod dinosaurs that includes birds and their closest relatives like Velociraptor. Discoveries of numerous feathered dinosaurs in China, like Anchiornis and Xiaotingjia, have shown that feathers and many bird-like traits were common among these dinosaurs long before Archaeopteryx. This really highlights the mosaic nature of bird evolution. Different bird traits evolved at different times and in different groups, not all at once in a neat line. Even if it's not the singular first bird anymore, Archaeopteryx remains incredibly important. Every new specimen and every re-examination, with fancy tech like CT scans and synchrotron imaging, gives us more data. The Chicago specimen is a testament to that. We're still working to understand its flight, growth, and its exact spot on that bustling family tree of Paravian dinosaurs. Archaeopteryx beautifully shows us that bird evolution wasn't a straight shot, but a complex, branching adventure with many amazing forms. Its ongoing story is a perfect example of how science works, new evidence constantly refining our understanding of life's incredible history. Thanks for joining us on Fun Facts Online. Tune in next time for more amazing science.